Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. I see we got Hennessy Black in the building. We got Ern Holloway in the building. We got Galaxy Pickers in the building. Appreciate y'all guys being here. YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And today's live is going to be on week 12. Week 12 stars of the week. Yes, guys, so I got 5 guys and I got a DST, so make sure you watch the whole live, guys. This is cutting edge content. Make sure you get the likes up. Subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. What's going on, Charlene? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so I'm not going to hold nobody up. We're going to get started, guys. Make sure you flood the comment section and put your questions in there, and I will get to it after I finish the script for the day. I got my 5 guys, and they sneaky. These, like I always tell you, I don't go to the obvious guys. I think what we need for fantasy football, as far as advice, we need to go in that little middle tier. And what guys that we are on the edge or on half off the seat and we don't know to start, I'm going to give you that confirmation. That's what I'm here to do. I'm going to give you that confirmation to tell you, so listen, I agree with you. This guy is a start. Even though it seems like he might not be good to start this week, I think you should start him. Okay, so let's go and talk about my quarterback of the week. My start of the week, and you already know, is Shedeur Sanders. And I'm going down with the ship. I've talked about Shedeur Sanders. I said he's probably one of the best quarterback prospects coming out of college. That doesn't mean he's going to be the best quarterback to ever play in the NFL, but his moxie, his pocket presence, he's been groomed for this. This is like the Spartans. You know the Spartans, when they used to have kids, they would like bring them up as warriors. I mean, they babies, they 2 years old. They teaching them how to cut, how to have knives, how to sword fight. This is what Shedeur's been doing his whole life, playing quarterback for his father, Deion Sanders, who is an All-American, who is an All-Pro, who is a Hall of Famer, and put this in his son's head. Not to be scared, to take advantage of the moment. Even though they play different positions, Deion still is, you know, an alpha thinking of a mentality when it comes to sports. And his son has that. That's why his son going to push the ball down the field. He going to try to make big plays. Sometimes he does too much. And he all he needs is a coach to calm that down. But now, guys, this is the game of his life. This could be the last game that he ever played in the NFL. I know a lot of you might think that's crazy. No, it's not crazy. If he goes out here and throws 6 picks, he might not never play again. So this guy's going to be in fight or flight mode. Do y'all know what that means? When you're in fight or flight mode, go look it up on Google. There have been women that has been in wrecks and a car or an SUV or whatever rolls up on their kid. They will go pick that damn car up and lift it up off their kid. This is women. They can't even bench 100 pounds. But let a car be on their kid and see what happened. So Shedeur Sanders, he ain't been getting reps and he don't know this. Oh, my career's on the line after my daddy didn't groom me for this? Oh, I'm about to show y'all. I'm going down with that ship. I'm going down with that ship. If somebody getting pushed in the corner, like him with that pedigree, I'm going down. So that's just the esoteric part of it. But he's also playing the Las Vegas Raiders, and what they doing? Giving it up behind the dumpster. Now, listen, they got some good pieces. They got a good defense end. They got some good corners out there. They decent. But I think Shedeur Sanders is going to overcome that. So, guys, I'm playing Shedeur Sanders this week. And I could be biased. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. I could be biased. This is the guy that I've been picking since the whole preseason going into the season. So, I'm going to go down with the ship. All right, let's move on to my next player. It's going to be the running back position is going to be Alvin Kamara going against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, listen, last week was the first, probably the second game that I saw the game script that Alvin Kamara thrives in. Tyler Shough could do it. Spencer Rattler couldn't do it. So with Tyler Shough, Alvin Kamara had some catches. He had about 4 or 5 catches. He had a big play. That's the Alvin Kamara that we know. So let's see if this can keep going against an Atlanta team who's struggling. Their quarterback is out for the season. They got Kirk Cousins, no Drake London, right? All they got is Bijan and Tyler Algier and a Kyle Pitts who they don't target. Kirk Cousins never targeted Kyle Pitts when he was starting. So I think this team is going to struggle. It's only going to help New Orleans. And also, I believe that Alvin Kamara with Tyler Shough, I think something is establishing there. This might be the quarterback of the future because Alvin seems to be able to prosper with him. So hopefully I can see another pattern and I can see that trend continue. So I'm playing Alvin Kamara this week against the Atlanta Falcons. Let's move on to my wide receiver play of the week. Chronic, appreciate that. Appreciate that that sticker. But my wide receiver play of the week is going to be Jerry Jeudy, and this is Shadir Sanders' teammate. So if I think the Shadir is going to play really well, then I have to go with that, and I have to go pick somebody on that team. Do I think it's going to be David Njoku? No, David Njoku got an injury. So I went with Jerry Jeudy. Now, I do think that somebody else can have, like Tillman can have a good game. Fanning can have a good, Earl Fanning can have a good game. It all can happen. But I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be the guy. The way Shadir Sanders plays, he needs that Travis Hunter that he always trusts, right? So I think it's going to be Jerry Jeudy. I'm looking for Jerry Jeudy to get 8 to 10 targets and to have a touchdown against the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm playing Jerry Jeudy against the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's move on to my tight end play of the week, and it's going to be Hunter Henry, the tight end from the New England Patriots. And they're going against the Cincinnati Bengals. And you know what the Cincinnati Bengals are doing? They're giving it up behind the dumpster. So I'm going to play Hunter Henry, even though he's kind of inconsistent at the tight end position for an elite team. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. So if you got Hunter Henry, don't go stream over top of him. You might as well play him. The matchup is too good. Sometimes we outstream ourselves. You already got a player on your team, but you're trying to get so maximum, like you're trying to get the best of the best of the best at every single position that you miss guys that can break out. Like a lot of you probably had Sean Tucker, but you went and played another running back. And I get it. I make mistakes like that. Everybody does it. It's fantasy. But sometimes I want you to look at the groceries that you got in your refrigerator before you go to the grocery store and buy new groceries. You can make food for the family with what you got in your refrigerator. You can win this week for what you got on your roster. So play Hunter Henry if you have him going against the Cincinnati Bengals, who is giving it up behind the dumpster. I mean, it's a big long line. Everybody's out there. Everybody will. Where my husband at? He out there behind the dumpster with the Cincinnati Bengals. That's what's going on. Okay, let's move on. My flex play. My flex play is going to be Kristen Watson. Yes, guys, Kristen Watson. And the main reason, guys, excuse me for a second. Okay, there we go. The main reason why I like Kristen Watson is because he's had 2 consistent games. Guys, this guy ain't had 2 consistent games in probably 3 years. He's always been 1 big game, 1 bad game, 1 big game, 1 bad game. He got 2 good games in a row. I think this is probably going to be the #1 wide receiver that we can play off the Green Bay Packers team. We all been looking for a guy that we can play. We've been looking for Matthew Golden. We've been looking for Romeo Doubs. We had Tucker Kraft earlier. We couldn't trust anybody. Bo Melton, Dontavius Wicks, you can't. But Christian Watson, I believe, is going to be the guy. And he gives you that upside. He gives you that 30-point, 40-point, 30-point, 40-point, 40-point, 50-point. He gives you that upside for that. So I'm going to play Christian Watson as my flex play of the week. I'm starting him. So you got him, guys. Put him in the lineup. And going to my DST play of the week is going to be the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints. And the reason why the New Orleans Saints is going to be my DST play of the week, I believe with Atlanta having a backup quarterback like Kirk Cousins and having Drake London out, I think the New Orleans Saints can take advantage of it, and it's a divisional game. So I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Are they just going to be able to run it with Bijan and he break out for big long plays? I don't know. Is Bijan going to line up at wide receiver and he score a lot of touchdowns? I doubt it. So I think this is going to be a dogfight, a close game, a 17-14 game or a 21-14 game. So I like the New Orleans defense to play. Okay. So let's start going to some of these questions in here. I see you, Elisa. I see you, Notorious. I see you, Gavin. A-Game Grizzo. Hennessy Black says, I'm going to guess 1. Luther Burton. No, Luther Burton is not 1. He's not 1. Listen, he's a stash, but he got 5 targets last week, but he didn't have a great game. But we are paying attention to Luther Burton. Alameda Zacchaeus. Alameda is getting moved down, and Luther seems like he's going to pass him. So Be stashing Luther Burden if you have him. If you see him on the waivers, if you got room on your team, stash him on your bench. He says Greg Dortch. I do like Greg Dortch. I think he's one of the safe plays, especially with Marvin Harrison Jr. being out. I like Greg Dortch. I started him in a lot of leagues last week with Marvin Harrison being out. Galaxy Picker says trade CD and Marks for JSN. No, JSN and CD are the same player. So why would you be throwing in a 2 just to get JSN? Don't get caught up on the name. Don't get caught up on his pass. Get caught on what's trending. What's trending is CD and Dak Prescott looking really great. Dak is pushing the ball downfield. So you got CD. Why would you get JSN? If you was going to do CD and Marks for some type of running back, then that's fine. But I don't think you need to do that. I think it's overkill. Because you're getting rid of an extra player just to get JSN, who CD can out-target and outplay for the rest of the season. I think Dak Prescott, the common denominator would be that Dak Prescott would be better than Sam Darnold. Dak Prescott will be better than Sam Darnold. He says roster is JT, Judkins, Marks, Harvey, Tootin, Lamb, London, Odunze, and Diggs. So you got Lamb, London, Odunze. So you're going to have Lamb, Odunze, and Diggs. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. Yeah, you don't need to make that move. Now, if you was going to keep Lamb and you was going to be able to make that move and add JSN in there with Lamb, that's different. But if you're going to have to give up Lamb to get JSN, that doesn't make sense to me. I will hold off. I wouldn't do that trade, Galaxy. What's going on, Aaron Holloway? What's good, bruh? What's up, Wave Runner? What's going on? I see you, Charlene. B. Silver says, Shadur Sanders is in the house. Watch your mouth. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I say Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. Yes, sir. B. Silver says, are we ready to drop Ja'Cory Cross-Camara and redraft for Dortch or for Tillman? Yes. I would do it for probably Dortch. But I like Tillman, too. If you want to stash Tillman, because I think with Shadur being the quarterback, Tillman going to see more targets. But right now, this week, as what we know, the data that we have, I like Dortch. So, yes, I would drop Ja'Cory Cross-Camara for Dortch. Appreciate the sticker, King Chronic. Wave Runner says, good afternoon, TD. What's going on, Wave Runner? MVM says, Pierce Sartez or Michael Wilson with MHJ being out. You got to go with Michael Wilson. We can't put that back in the box. So we're going with Michael Wilson. Charlene says Michael Wilson and Darren Mooney might do well this week. Yes, Mooney should, but I'm nervous about it because he's the only thing that they got. He didn't play well last time with Kirk Cousins out there, so I'm not trusting it. I do like Michael Wilson with Jacoby Brissett though. What's going on, Elisa? Notorious says Watson will disappear when Reed comes back. It's possible. I'm not going to stand up for any Packer wide receiver after we've seen this for 2 years, but I will give credit when credit is due. And Watson's been balling out, is pushing the defense back, making big plays. So I'm gonna go with Watson until I see more data. Gavin Holloway says, is Bucky playing? I don't think so. They kind of being quiet about it, but I don't think they don't want him to have a setback. So if Bucky doesn't play, I would keep playing Sean Tucker. And if so, do I start him over Dowdle or the Odunze? No, I wouldn't. I would want to see it first, especially with them being in the playoff run. They don't want him to get hurt. So I would keep starting Dowdle and Odunze until I see a original Bucky Irvin game, if you can help it. Now, if you are like 500, and if you lose, you could be out the playoffs, then you might want to go ahead and play Bucky. But I wouldn't play him over nobody like Dowdle, who's a top 5, top 10 guy on a weekly basis. Maybe a Odunze, but Dunze's been playing well too. Notorious says Kirk Cousins is better than Penix. He could be, but he hasn't played it. He got his position taken. I'm not going to use Kirk Cousins being better than Penix in an overall situation just to play him in fantasy, because I'm not going to risk that. There's too many good quarterbacks out there like Shadur Sanders and other guys to be worried about what a Kirk Cousins is going to do. Now, if Drake London was there, I would be kind of like, I just want to see what's going to happen. Kirk Cousins could play well, but with no Drake London this week, I'm not going to play Kirk Cousins. He's going to have to shock me. He's going to have to shock my world. Pause. Intelligente, what's up, bruh? He says, I have Herbert on a bye. Would you play Sanders or Tyrod? I'm playing Sanders. I'm playing Sanders in Superflex. Notorious says, just like when Carson Wentz replaced J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings got better. Right, but he had Justin Jefferson to throw to. Drake London is out. That process is cool. I get the metaphor, but there ain't no Justin Jefferson out there. There's no Kevin O'Connell out there. I don't know if that offensive coach, which is Zach Robinson, I don't know if he's going to call the right plays to accentuate everybody to make Kirk Cousins be Kirk Cousins. I just need to see it. You could be right. I'm gonna give you credit, bro, if that happens. But right now, I can't do that. I can't expect Kirk Cousins to ball out just because he's a vet and he's been playing well and had really good seasons. A-Gang Grizzle says, ATD, who do you like the most rest of the season out of Managa, Pearsall, and Michael Wilson? I'm going with Pearsall because once Marvin Harrison Jr. comes back, Michael Wilson won't be getting the same targets, but he still will be heavily involved in the game plan, but it won't be 170 yards. It might be 70 yards. Hopefully a TD with it. Pearsall, no matter what, he's going to have a role. He got his own niche in that team. Nobody can stop him underneath. So he's going to, once he's healthy, he's going to always have that role. No matter Jawan Jennings, George Kittle, that role he got it is a nice role. It gives him a nice floor of 10 PPR points. Managai is fine, but until DeAndre Swift goes down and is going to be out for multiple weeks, I don't want to play musical chairs with those guys. So I'm going to go with Pearsall rest of the season. Charlene says, I think Saints DST is good rest of the season, especially weeks 15 to 17. Okay. What's up, Bandit? He says, have Travion, Chase Brown, and Henry start too. We're going with Henry and Travion. We're going with Henry and Travion. Diego says Sean Tucker versus Tajay Spears. It's all about Sean Tucker if Bucky is out. If Bucky's out, you got to play Sean Tucker. If Bucky plays, I'm going with Tajay Spears. 3 strikes. What's up, bro? He says, I got Rico Dowdle, B. John, Nico, Devontae Smith, Travion Henderson, Woody March, Torrey Franklin, QJ, Pearsall, and J-Mo. I have an open slot. Any recommendations? Love your thoughts, bro. Okay. I have an open slot. Any recommendations? Okay. So you mean what player should you play out of those guys? Is that what you mean? So that's what I'm gonna do. If you mean something else, 3 strikes, let me know later in the comment section and then I'll address it. But the guy that I like out of those guys, let me read this up, bro. I got Rico Dowdle, Nico, Travion, Woody March, Trey, KJ Pearsall, and J-Mo. I have an open slot. Any recommendations? Love your thoughts. So if you thinking about somebody that's on the outside, I would say A.D. Mitchell. If you're just saying who else can you bring in that nobody's really talking about, and I'm going to talk about him in another video later, but A.D. Mitchell right now on the Jets with Tyrod Taylor starting, I like A.D. Mitchell. But out of those guys, and I don't think you're talking about this, so I'm not even going to address those guys, but A.D. Mitchell is one. Who is another guy that I like? Tillman. I like Tillman. That's it right now for like recommendations, the guys that nobody's really talking about that you can get off waivers. Big Will says, I'm rolling with Christian Watson this week since Jamar is suspended. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Charlene says, I have Christian Watson and Jaden Reed for the squeeze and picked up Jordan Love. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And that way you're going to know if what to do with Christian Watson or Jaden Reed. And if you can drop one of them later, but at least you got both of them. If the opposite one hit, you will have that. So I love that strategy. Big Will says, Watson could be a league winner and overcome the injuries this season like CMC. Big facts. Voltron, what's up, bro? He says, if the Ravens want to rest Derrick Henry at all, there's a chance for 10-plus touches in upcoming games for Mitchell. I disagree with that. They can't rest nobody, bro. They behind. That's what makes them very intriguing in fantasy. They can't do that. They not that team. They not the New England Patriots. They not the Philadelphia Eagles. They have to win out. They got to dominate. What you saying, can he miss the fourth quarter because they winning by 30 points? But Derrick Henry needs to get yards. They behind the schedule. Him and Lamar they don't have a bunch of stats. So I don't think they take plays off. I don't think they take a quarter off. I think they want to especially Lamar, he needs to work off some rust. He needs to get his eye discipline. It's like baseball, bro. If I've been out for a month, I got to go back in and play. I can't say, well, we already made the playoffs, so just have him sit down. Bro, I'm not going to learn I'm not going to be able to hit the ball. My timing going to be off because I haven't been getting pitched to in a live game. Lamar needs to go out there and throw the ball downfield and make plays and get his accuracy right and learn the game script of how they're going to win games for the playoffs. So I don't believe that's going to happen. Now, Keaton Mitchell can come in and take some opportunities. That can happen. That's Derrick Henry. We know he's not a great pass-catching back, but they got to use him for pass-catching downs because teams know what you're doing. When Derrick Henry come out, we know you're passing. So pass with Derrick Henry in there sometimes. B. Silver says, we're not starting Shadir over Baker or Brissett, right? That's a great question. Way to get to the nitty-gritty, B. Silver. That's a great question. Let me see here. No, I'm not gonna get that cute. I'm not gonna tell y'all to start him over Baker, and I probably wouldn't either. Right? I probably wouldn't start him over Baker. Like if I got Drake May, I'm not starting Shadir Sanders over Drake May. So I want to be fair with Baker. Baker's not chopped liver. Brissett, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like I like Brissett, but they ain't playing against no chopped liver. The Jacksonville Jaguars is a good defense. So I don't know, man. Just if I'm winning, I might get cute. And I might put Shadir in for Brissett. Because I got a lot of leagues where I only got 2 losses or 3 losses. So if I got 2 or 3 losses, I'm going to probably get cute and play Shadir if I got him. If I'm 500, I'm probably going to go with the known guy like a Brissett or a Baker. Great question, B. Silver. That's the best question so far. I want to be able to give y'all, when I go through this question, that's a great question. You put me on the clock with that question. Notorious says, let me get your boom kicking streamer of the week. I don't have that yet. That's for tomorrow. My boom players of the week will come out tomorrow. Right now, I'm just doing my stars of the week. I like that. What fantasy channel does the boom? I think that's fantasy footballers. I think they do the boom. I think that's what Jason does, the boom. I know you watch them, bruh. Aaron Holloway said, what trades can you get with Bucky Irvin? You might could get Rico Dowdle. You might could get Josh Jacobs. You might could get Javonte Williams. And I'm not telling you these, I'm just giving you guys that you can actually get. Let me think about one more. Alvin Kamara. I'm not saying you should, if that might not be your guy, but you could get Alvin. Yeah, those are the few guys that you could get. I'm going to do a trade video, too, for y'all. Nate says, yo, Josh, you in the chat? 3 Strikes says, right. Okay, bro. Yes, sir. Strive for Greatness says, someone needs a cut. No, I don't. My hair, bro, is just been frizz. I go 7 days rotation. Every Friday, I get my hair done, get it slicked back, and get the edge up. It's going to frizz up, bro. I'm an African-American. It's going to frizz up. I got my hair long. But I appreciate it. Caleb Hamilton says, what up, TD? Should I start Emmanuel Wilson if Jacobs is out? Yes. Tootin or Trey Benson. I would start Emmanuel Wilson over Trey Benson this week because I want to see Trey, see how he plays with the Arizona Cardinals. Also, would you start any of them over Tez Johnson? Yeah, I can see myself starting Trey Benson if he's practicing. If he don't practice but one time this week, no. But if he's practicing as in right now and he's getting 3 or 4 weeks of practice in, 3 or 4 days of practice in, yes. Tootin, if he's practicing, it's the same thing. All these running backs, if they practicing like now, today, and they do it Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and Saturday, then yes, I'm willing to play Tootin and Trey Benson over Tez Johnson. But if they don't practice, no, I'm not doing. I'm going with Tez. Elisa says, TD, should I drop Mason or Singletary for Wilson? Yes. To me, I think Mason is a trap back, but he does have value, especially if Aaron Jones gets hurt. Minnesota can have some good matchups, and you might need him. Singletary, I think you could drop Singletary. He's fine. He's splitting carries with Tyrone Tracy, but if you're gonna start Wilson, why would you hold on to these guys? These guys doesn't have the upside with Marvin Harrison Jr. out as Wilson does. So I probably would drop Singletary because I think Mason could get goal line carries, and you might need him because of an injury or whatever. Singletary, even if Tyrone Tracy was to get injured, what's his ceiling? Is he going to be a top 5 guy? No, I don't believe so. We saw Mason be a top 5 guy. So, yes, I would drop Singletary for Wilson and start him. But if you're not going to start Wilson, don't do it just to pick him up on your team. Make that move if you're going to start him. Thomas, he says, what up, TD? I suppose I'm going to take Henderson for my London. Yes, it will be a flex option moving forward. That's fine, bro. That's fine. Sometimes you got to get off something, and that's going to slow you down. And waiting on London could slow you down. He could come back and not give you that boom that you want with Kirk Cousins being there. He didn't never really hit with Kirk. He boomed and it was a top 5 wide receiver because of Michael Penix last year, not because of Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was willing and dealing to Darnell Mooney. Ice Cold Jones, what's up, bro? He said, should I drop Cade Otton and pick up Bo Nix? No, because that's for what I have. Okay, you got Kelsey already. Yeah, but why are you picking up Bo Nix? To create quarterback competition? Because Bo Nix ain't gonna never start for you. If you want to play defense, yes. But Bo Nix, I believe, man, let me know if you don't have a good quarterback. He ain't gonna never start for your team. So why would you go and create that problem? Go stash a handcuff somewhere like a Tootin, somebody that you can actually use if somebody get hurt. You're never gonna use Bo Nix. Now, if I'm wrong, put it in the comment section and let me know. What's up, Don Padre? What's up, bro? He says, what up, TD? Gabriel Prophet says Derrick Henry is going to do all the work Sunday. Come on now. Louise says, what up, TD? What's up, bro? Gabriel Prophet says Shedeur is going to go wild on Sundays versus the Raiders. I hope so, bro. Yes, I believe so. Voltron says reports are indicated that Hampton will be back week 13 for the Chargers after their bye week. Okay, thank you. That's cutting edge content. Thank you for the news, guys. That's cutting edge content. So right now, with y'all knowing that, if you had to, not saying that you do it, if you had to pick up somebody that was going to win you a week, like a Sean Tucker because Bucky was out, you could drop Vidal. If you needed to, not telling you to do it. Let's hold on to Vidal, though. If in a perfect situation, let's hold on to Vidal and see what happened that Sunday once Amarian come back. And then once Amarian takes over and Vidal is the second fiddle guy, then you can move on for Vidal. But you don't want to do it, and then Amarian Hampton comes back and he's not quite ready. We thought Bucky would have been back 2 weeks ago. So just wait it out. Be patient. Thomas says, need a Gaddison tight end replacement for this weekend. Mason Taylor, Fannin Jr., A.J. Bonner. I'm also playing JSN. It's Fannin Jr. with Shedeur Sanders. It's Fannin Jr. with Shedeur Sanders. Also, I love Mason Taylor. So I'm going to say Fannin Jr. and Mason Taylor and then A.J. Bonner. All those guys are good. I'm telling you, those are really good streamable tight ends. I love A.J. Bonner. He's a good streamable tight end, no matter if you already got JSN or whoever else. Mason Taylor with Tyrod Taylor, I think is going to be good. I think he might have 10 catches. Fannin Jr. could have a big game. Shedeur is going to be pushing the ball downfield. Fannin Jr. can make people miss. You get the ball, mess around, and get to Fannin in the right spot, he might take it off for 40 and score. So I'm going to say Fannin is my number 1 guy. What's up, Tiger? He said, where does Judkins line up? Should I start George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb together over Judkins? Yes. Yes, I like that squeeze. I like that, Tiger. I haven't seen you here before, but it seems like you know about squeezing. And what I'm saying, pause, seems like you know about, well, listen, CD might not go off, but if CD doesn't, George Pickett's going to go off, or one of them going to go off, or they both can go off. I love that because you can get the boom that's going to win you the week. If you try to pick between them, you could lose because you picked the wrong one. But if you play both, even if one could score you 8 points, the other one gave you 30 or 25, which is going to probably help you win the week because it's a boom week. Don't be scared to sacrifice a player in your starting lineup to make sure you get a boom. I said that again. You want me to repeat that? Don't be scared to sacrifice a player to get the boom in your lineup. So I play two guys. I play Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to make sure that I get the boom from the running back position on a great matchup for the Detroit Lions. Love that, Tiger. Yes, so I would play CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens over Judkins. Even though Judkins got a really good matchup, I think all the Cleveland Browns players should be started this week. I'm starting Quinshon Judkins. I'm starting Shadir. I'm starting Fannin. I'm starting Jerry Jeudy. And I would start Tillman in certain leagues. Charlene says, I'm stashing Hunt and Algiers. I love that. And Hunt, I don't know if he's a stash. I think he's a start. Like, if I... Guys, let me know. Can you hear me? Let me know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Thank you, Charlene. So yeah, all the Cleveland Browns are stars this week. Charlene says I'm stashing Hunt and Algier. Yep, Hunt. Like I said, Hunt is a start for me. I'm starting him. I love that the goal line touches, the honey touches that he's getting. And Algier, if anything happens to Bijan, Algier could be a league winner. Father of Three says drop Managa, Pierce, or Addison for Quentin Johnson. No, we're not dropping anybody for Quentin Johnson. Especially not no Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce is a top 5 wide receiver. I said what I said. Alec Pierce is a top 5 wide receiver rest of the season. So we're not doing that. We're not dropping Managa for no Quentin Johnson because this is getting cold. We need running back handcuffs. Addison, you could drop Addison for Quentin Johnson with J.J. McCarthy being the quarterback. But I don't know. It's up to you. Do you like Quentin Johnson or Addison? I might like Quentin Johnson better than Addison with Justin Herbert throwing the ball over a J.J. McCarthy. Other wide receivers are Pickens and Zay Flowers now. So, no, I don't. I would say it's going to be between Addison. It's going to be Addison if you want to do that. Don't drop Managa or Pierce, Alec Pierce. That's Damian Pierce, hell yeah. King Sirius says Goff is in a perfect spot for a bounce back week. He faces Giants. Yes, sir. Yes, Goff is a good player. Aaron Holloway says, what about Chase Brown? But I like those guys you named, Rico, Jacobs, Kamara, Javonte. But I like those guys you named, Rico. How about Chase Browns? Yeah. So would I play Chase Brown over any of those guys? Well, Josh Jacobs is out. I might play him over Javonte. I think Jamar Chase helps Chase Brown. And Chase Brown, yeah, Jamar Chase is going to be out. So that hurts Chase Brown a little bit. That's why I kind of pushing him back a little bit. He dropped a little bit. But the only person that I would play him over is maybe Javonte. Let me get me some water, guys. Charlene says, should I pick up Chris Godwin? Yes. But you're only going to be able to use him probably for 2 weeks, right? I could see him being ready like week 15. So, but I would stash him because I don't want nobody else picking him up and then he 10 targets. So I get that. Yes, he is a stash. Ice Coach says, should I drop Bill? Yes. Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy. Bill Nye, the science guy. Can be dropped. King Sirius says, you think Woody Marks is a boom play this week? I don't know if he's a boom, but he has a great matchup. The way this team flows, I can't call him a boom. I need to see the boom. He says Bills defense just gave up 3 touchdowns to Sean Tucker. Right. I think he got a good matchup. That's all I can say. I'm starting him. 3 Strikes says, do I drop anyone here when Trey Benson comes off IR? No. Not Rico, not Travion Henderson, not Woody Marks. Unless somebody's hurt. No, I wouldn't drop any of those guys when Trey Benson comes off IR. Matt, what's up, Matt? He says, would you start Shadir Sanders, Young, or Mills for the QBT and Superflex, 4-point passing TDs? I'm playing Shadir Sanders. over Young and Mills. The second guy between Young and Mills would be Young. I'm going with Bryce Young over Mills. But Shadur Sanders is my #1 quarterback on that list that you have, Matt. Appreciate you. Ice Cold says, I haven't got a good quarterback and only got Dart as a quarterback. Okay. So let me know what's on your waivers. You can't get Shadur Sanders? You didn't try to get Shadur Sanders off waivers? Let me know what you got. Like, if you didn't try to get Shadur Sanders off waivers and you don't have a quarterback other than Dart is going to be fine. But Ice Cold Jones, like I told somebody else, I'm not saying that you shouldn't play Dart, but if they're not going to run Dart at the goal line, I don't think he's going to have the touchdown upside that he had before then. But who knows? He could go out and throw for 3 touchdowns. I don't know. Elisa says, TD, would you play Wilson over Marks? Yes, I would play Wilson over. It's very close. It's tomato, but I would play Wilson over Marks if Marvin Harrison Jr. is out. Yes, I would. But I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I usually like to play the running back when it's close, but the way Wilson played, I'm gonna keep going with him. I'm gonna squeeze all the juice out of that lemon that I can. And we definitely not playing him over Henderson. I already have Rico, Puka, and Ibuka. Thanks. This way I know to pick Wilson up. Yes, I will play Wilson. But you know what? See, thank you. Thank you, Elisa. No, don't do it, Elisa. Don't go. Listen, you already got the groceries in your refrigerator. Why would you go outside just to get something? This is not Marvin Harrison Jr. on the waiver wire. This is not B. John Robinson on the waiver wire. This is another guy that just had a good game, and you chasing it. It's like a guy come to, hey, Lisa, you pretty. You're not gonna chase that, right? You be like, bro, you're gonna have to tell me more than I'm pretty just to get a date with me, right? So what I'm trying to tell you, you already got the sauce. You already got your players. Let your players evolve to see what you got in your house. Don't go outside and try to get Wilson when you got a guy with like Marks that got a fantastic matchup. That's why I like for y'all to keep putting the questions, because the more details you give me, I can make a decision. And sometimes decisions is not, who's the best player, TD? Sometimes it's be like, well, what do I got in my pocket right here? And you show, I'm like, yeah, that's it, man. You good. There you go. Why are you talking about something that's way over on the other side of the county? You already got it. You got Marks. You don't go pick up nobody like Wilson over Marks. Now, if it was a top tier player, it would be different. Wave Runner says, traded Breach for Amari and Hampton yesterday. What's your thoughts? I like it, especially if you already good at the running back position and you're just trying to get upside. Jacob Bender says, with Marvin Harrison Jr. being ruled out this week, what are your thoughts on Dortch? I like Dortch, especially for PPR. I agree with you, bro. I like Dortch. He's a safe play with Marvin Harrison Jr. being out. Thinking about starting him over DJ Moore, and I think that's okay. I think DJ Moore got a lot of upside, but I get it. Greg Dortch is very safe. Brissett is balling. He's willing and dealing. Nothing wrong with your process, bro. Michael, what's going on? Appreciate you being here, man. Cutting edge content here. This is a great community. Appreciate you being here. He says, traded A.J. Brown and Jones for Rice and Singletary. Got Rice. So basically what you did is you traded A.J. Brown for Rice. I'm not mad at that. And you threw in Aaron Jones. Nobody cares about Aaron Jones and Singletary. They're not going to do anything. If you need running back depth because somebody can get hurt or a bye week, that's different. But the real trade was A.J. Brown and Rice, and I'm okay with that. It's kind of a lateral move, but I think Rice being on Kansas City makes him more appealing, and the consistency that he's doing, what he's been doing the last 3 or 4 weeks since he's been back, yeah, it makes plenty of sense. Fatal, what's up, Fatal? He says, I give you my setup. Would you be able to help me if I give you my setup? I don't know what your setup. What you mean by setup? Tiger says, word, appreciate you. Anytime. Okay, I got a super chat down here. Did not see it. Sorry about that, guys. Y'all didn't. It took a while, so I'm going. He says, great show. Keep up the good work. Yes, sir, Don. You know it always. SH33 Dunn says, would you drop Ja'Cory Cross-Get-Married for Keaton Mitchell? Yes, just to get a handcuff in case something happens. Knock on wood. Derrick Henry. Don says Tyrod Taylor, Shadir Sanders, Tyrod Taylor all day. We going down with the ship, guys. Listen, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Shadir plays bad, I will be the first one to say, guys, I made a big, I ain't gonna say big mistake, but I messed up. I was biased, whatever. But I'm giving y'all my real. I'm not making this up just because I picked Shadir. He's playing against Las Vegas. This is the game of his life. Jerry Jeudy is healthy. Tillman is healthy. Quinshawn Judkins. The Las Vegas Raiders, you can run the ball on them. It can't get a better situation. If Shadir cannot play good enough for a streamable quarterback, when is he going to ever? This is the best time. I mean, bro, you got to do it. I don't care if you're a fifth-round pick. I don't care how many snaps you've been doing it. You got to ball out. It's just like this. Somebody called me right now and say, hey, TD, ESPN want to offer you $5 million to do fantasy football. But you got to come today. You got to leave your job right now and get on a plane. Hey, listen, I'm fighting for my life. I'm about to get $5 million. I'm going. I'm not going to be, oh, but wait a minute. I got to, no, the situation, and y'all know I'm good at fantasy, so I got to go up there and be ready to talk my shit. I got to be ready. I got to read, get ready. I'm going to be working hard on the way on the plane, reading everything, getting all my details, taking some deep breaths. I got to get ready. So that's the same thing with Shadir. I think, guys, the situation is going to make him play elite. Elisa says Schultz or Mason or Johnson from the Saints. I'm going with Johnson from the Saints. I like Mason next, then Schultz. But Johnson is my number one. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you. Fadal says, should I start Managa or Monty? That's tough. I would probably go with Monty, but ask me that later throughout the week. I might change on this one. But right now, we're going to go with Monty. But Monty's not being used with Dan Campbell calling plays as much as he was with the other offensive coordinator. And you can see why. Gibbs is just more explosive. Their pass game is eating. But I'm going to say Monty for right now. But like I said, my answers for my starts and sits can always change because of situational football, knowing that people get hurt. We hear new details throughout the week. So I'm going to go with Monty for right now. Aaron says, I was responding about the trade for Bucky Irvin. Okay, Aaron, and I apologize again, man. I have no clue. Let me scroll. I'm going to scroll up just a little bit, bro. But sometimes when, like, if you have to explain because I didn't know what you meant, kind of put the same question in there from the beginning and then explain what was going on. It helps me because if I have to scroll up, man, I can lose my spot. But you know I don't mind, bro, because you are a member of the channel. That's the main reason why I'm doing it. I'll look out for the people. Okay, so, what about Chase Brown? Okay. And he says, I was responding about the trade for Bucky Irvin. Okay. And he says, what about Chase Brown? But I like those guys you named, Rico Jacobs. Okay, for the trade for Chase Brown. Got you. Okay. Appreciate that. Tron, he says, would you trade Barkley and Debo for Chase Brown and Rashid Rice? Barkley and Debo. Yes, if you need the star, if you need wide receiver with that, yes. I like Barkley. I think he gets going, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you to hold on to that. If you are a top 3 team in the league, bro, I would hold for Barkley. I would rather have Barkley in the playoffs than to have Chase Brown in the playoffs. That's just me for the fantasy football playoffs. But if you are 500, I think it's a good trade to get you some guys that can come in there and score right away. Chase Brown been outperforming Barkley the last 3 or 4 weeks. My other running backs are CMC, Jalen Warren, Gainwell, Bigsby. No, You keep Barkley. You need Barkley. CMC and Barkley is better to roll out than going out with CMC and Warren or Gainwell or Bigsby. No, we keeping Barkley. Other wide receivers are Nico, Devontae, Olave. You got Nico, you got Devontae. So I see why you wanted another wide receiver, but you're going to be hurting that running back. I would keep that nuclear energy that's not been working right, like Barkley on my team. That's just me. Jay Moore says Jennings or Mooney. I'm going with Jennings over Mooney. I need to see Mooney play well with Kirk Cousins before I can put him back as a legit streamable guy like he was last year. Holy Inspiration says, I think Sanders has more composure than any quarterback. Come on now. See, Holy, boy, you know your shit, bruh. See, y'all don't understand that. That's why I said he was one of the best quarterbacks I ever seen come out of college. That boy pocket presence is ridiculous. He knows the game. He's been built for this shit. Just like y'all probably don't know why TD got all these sayings. I was made for this. I was born in a looker house. These sayings come to my mind. And then I watch sports. I come from a sports family. We love sports. Baseball is the number one. I got a baseball field in front of my grandma's house. Made a homemade baseball field. A real legitimate baseball field. So I was built for sports. I was built to come on a camera. I used to sing for the choir in church. So I lost all my shyness. So listen, guys, I'm not a big time singer. I can't harmonize that good. But you know why I led the songs in the youth choir? Because of my energy. Y'all see it? TD full of energy, full of life. So I could make the people stand up and clap and sing the song with me. Why? Not because I can sing great. I wasn't Michael Jackson as a kid. It was just oh, look at him, he about 7 years old. Look at him up there moving. Because I'm my energy. And it's the same thing with Shedeur Sanders. He's been groomed to be an NFL quarterback and to take ridicule. So, brother, I love that, what you're saying, Holy Inspiration. He said he doesn't seem like he folds under pressure. He doesn't. He wants the pressure. His daddy raised him for that. Guys, he's trying to make his daddy happy. And I don't mean that in a weird way. We all know what we feel like, Father. When our father say, brother, I'm proud of you, son. You know that feeling that you get? That's what he's out there chasing because his daddy built him for this moment. Yes, Josh, I love the rainbow, bro. Thank you. I love everybody. Appreciate you being here. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel, man. Appreciate you being here, Josh. Matt says, thanks. Anytime. Tiger says, are you worried about the Cowboys offense performing against the Eagles? So this is what I believe. The tougher the matchup, to me, the more passing attempts it happens. You're not just going to be able to run the ball against Jalen Carter and the other D tackle. So you're going to have to put the ball in the air. And George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, it will jump ball your ass to death, especially George Pickens. So I'm not worried about it. When they played, good as they played, I got to trust that. I'm not going to get off of that because of the Eagles. When you got Dak Prescott, you got a good offensive line. Like the Cowboys can play with the Eagles. Not saying they're going to go out there and put 40 up on them, but Dak Prescott can have 2 touchdowns. 1 to CD or 2 to CD, but George Pickens had 90 yards on 8 catches, right? You see how the points can still, everybody can still get theirs without Dak going for 4 touchdowns. I actually think quarterbacks are better to play in fantasy when they play in tougher matchups because that's more passing yards. If everything is equal, if the offense is, good, it's solid, like they not, jumping off sides a lot. They're not a sorry bottom of the Burrow team. And Dallas is not that. Dallas is a top 5, maybe the number 2 offense in the NFL. Eduardo says, I got Shedeur, Purdy, and golf. Which one should I start, TD? You got to go with golf. You got to go with golf. I love Shedeur, but we're not going to get crazy, right? We're not going to get crazy that Shedeur is, I'm not going to be a fanboy and tell you to sit golf and play Shedeur. I'm always going to stick to my rules. I might break them here and there to get special players in, but he ain't that special yet. I need to see it a little bit before I start sitting golf with all those weapons that they got, with Dan Campbell calling plays. What's going on, Troy? He says, laugh it off. He doesn't fold under pressure. That was obviously wrong. Right, but wait a minute. He didn't say he folds under pressure. He says he doesn't seem like he folds under pressure, right? Father 3 says, Dart is him. Talent will find a way. All he needs is a great coach, right? But what I'm saying, Father 3, if they don't let him do what if, this is what I'm trying to say, because I don't want to talk about 2 different things. We could be talking about 2 different things. If they tell Jalen Hurts that he can't do the tush push, I don't want Jalen Hurts if he can't do the tush push. If Jackson Dart can't run the ball in for touchdowns, I don't want that. Now, if you saying that I don't give a damn what the coaches say, he's still going to do it, then I agree. Hell yeah, because players do what they do. Coaches can only coach him up a little bit. If he wants to run the ball, you can't stop it. You just going to have to pull him out the game, and that's not going to happen. So if you believe he's still going to run the ball, I digress, and I'm wrong. But if the coaches are saying that and Brian Daboll got fired, that makes me feel weird, and I'm going to be hot if I play Jackson Dart and he only go for 10 or 15 points and they run the ball a lot. I'm going to be hot. Tron says, I currently have Dart with Flacco as my backup. Someone dropped Bo Nix. Okay. You currently have Dart with Flacco. Okay. Should I put a waiver for him? Yes, you need a quarterback. Dart, with what I'm saying, because we at least can pick up Bo Nix and see what happens. Dart going through that coaching transition. Let's see what happens. Flacco could get his position took him from Joe Burrow. So I get what you're saying there. That makes sense. Yes, pick up Bo Nix. Tron says, I currently have the Rams and the Packers defense. Someone dropped the Eagles D. Would you drop the Rams and Packers D and pick up the Eagles to roll with the rest of the seasons? I currently have the Rams and Packers defense. Someone dropped the Eagles D. Would you drop the Rams and Packers D to pick up the Eagles to roll with? Listen, have you looked at the Eagles' schedule? Do you see some green bean matchups? If you see those matchups, don't pick up the Eagles defense just because they played good last week. Make sure their schedule is optimal, because you drop in 2 defenses just to go get one, right? So it's all about the Eagles schedule if you feel good about playing them all for the rest of the season. I haven't really looked at their team like that because they're not on none of my waivers for me to look at their schedule if I want to pick them up. I'm not going to trade for them. So you need to go on right now or after this live and go see what their schedule look like, and if you want to roll with them every single week and you don't want to stream nobody else. If you're okay with that, then yeah, you can drop those defenses because you don't need to hold on to them if you're not going to stream them. If you want to make more room for your running backs or a wide receiver that you can pick up, I understand it. Just go down with the ship. Just make sure when you get the Eagles, don't go back and say you regret it. Make sure you look at that schedule and be okay with it. Anytime, Don Padre, anytime. Voltron says, can Gabe Davis be trusted as a flex? No. I don't care how many targets. We're not playing Gabe Davis. I'm not doing that. Josh, yes, man. Appreciate it, man. Hey, Rainbow, if that's where you want to put me, man, that's a strong group. They will support me. So watch what you say. Because if I tell them that you coming at me, they'll block you off YouTube. Soda says, who's better, JJ or Sanders? Sanders all day. Matt says Dortch or Hollins in 4 PPR. I'm going with Dortch. EP says neither. Stay away. I like Dortch. Voltron says, you think the Bills trade Kenyon Coleman due to his discipline issues? They might not trade him. Maybe I don't know what they're going to do with him. He might not play. Maybe they keep using Shavers. Shavers is another sleeper that you need to be paying attention to, too. But I don't know what they're going to do with Kenyon Coleman. He better wake up. If you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. That's his song. That's what he need to understand. And that's that. If y'all young, you don't know nothing about that Sister Act, one of the greatest movies of all time. I said what I said. You can watch that movie in school. You can watch it in kindergarten. You can watch it anywhere. One of the greatest movies, Sister Act 2. Mobley says, who do I start? Watson, Pierce, or Dunze? My other or CD in Nakua? That's a great question. I'm going with Pierce over Watson and Dunze. Yes, I'm going with Pierce over Dunze. Alec Pierce. Tiger says, love what you're doing. Your energy is everything. I'm telling you. And and sometimes, not you, Tiger, but back in the day, I used to get offended. You know, a lot of my friends, this is how they help their ego when they're around me. And I got some friends that they'll be completely honest and say, man, I kind of envy your energy, man. I'm not no hater, bro. Just let me, because I know how you is, TD. You're going to see me one day and I'm going to say something off and you're going to think I'm a hater. So I got friends that tell me, man, your energy, I envy your energy. You can outdo me in things that I think I'm probably more talented in because your energy. I take that. But I also get offended sometimes where people are like, oh, it's all about your energy. But what about the knowledge? What about JMO? Because if you new here, man, and I'm not talking to you, but I'm talking to you, but you don't have anything to do with this. And most of the subscribers don't. But a lot of people want to come in here and watch me. One guy said it, and I laughed because I took it for what it was worth. One guy came in here, he said, I'm not here for the fantasy. You terrible at fantasy, but I like your energy. And I felt some type of way. But then I was like, hey, as long as you're giving me a view. But if you go to my catalog and look, man, the players that I'm saying, the shit that I'm saying is hitting now. I've been getting a little bit of ridicule about it, but JMO is hitting. I told people to fade Saquon is hitting. I told people to drop CMC is hitting. I told people to make sure you get a top quarterback like Lamar or Josh Allen or Drake May. Drake May was one of my biggest calls. Brock Bowers haven't did what he's supposed to do, so I still got a couple players that I'm waiting on. But yeah, man, I want to thank. I would like to thank, even though I got great energy, the knowledge of what I'm saying is good too. Not everyone understands energy. I see you. Okay, yes sir, Tiger. Tron says Gabe Dart. Would you trade Debo and Flacco or Dart for Lamar? Yes. Yes, I would. I would trade Debo and Flacco for Lamar to get me a consistent quarterback. And you know, he didn't have a good week last week, but it's Lamar. You can put him in and you don't have to worry about that no more. And you always put him in. I would do that. I would give up Debo and Flacco or Debo and Dart, even Dart, especially after what the coaches said, for my opinion, and go get Lamar. Yes, sir, I would do that, Tron. Ed Tay says, we roll with Dak this week or ride with Arizona quarterback. That's a tough one, Ed Tay. Woo! Let's go with Dak because I still think the Jacksonville defense is a good defense. I'm thinking Arizona's playing Jacksonville, right, guys? I got so much going on. I could be off. Let me know. Please Believe says he only need one defense if one of them are already past the bye. That way he'll have one spot open for somebody, then may accident help him win this league, right? Yes, that's what I'm saying. So he's trying to find a defense. That way he ain't got to keep having three defenses to play the best matchup. And I understand that science. So yes, if you want to go with the Eagles to do it, but make sure the Eagles are the team that you want to do that with. King Silver says, guys keep disrespecting your sexuality, but you handled it with grace. Yes, I do. You know, that's fine. Thank you, King Silver, for bringing that up. And that's fine, man. I'm 38 years old. I know it's because I'm him. You know what I'm saying? So I am who I am. Didn't nobody say nothing about Prince? Whatever. It is what it is. I don't let them say it, bro. They're going to say something. I had to learn that, man. I didn't really hide who I was and stuff like that. But 10 years ago, would I have my hair like this? Because I'll be worried about I'm going to be mad if somebody say something ignorant, so I don't want my hair to look nothing like no one. Man, I don't give a damn about none of that. I know I'm fly. I'm 38, not sharp jawline, gray hair. So I don't worry about what they say, but I love that you bring it up, man, because they do take shots, and that's why, and I'm glad you're saying that. Me and some people fell out there was my friends because they kind of let some shit like that slide, and I don't play that shit. Like, if somebody disrespect my friends, I'm going to stand up for them if I know who they are, right? If I can, to a certain extent. So, yeah, bro, and you got to handle it with grace. I'm going through a situation with my son. What do you think with them saying something about all this little weird rainbow shit? They just hating, bro. Look at James Brown and Prince. Prince got all the beautiful women. He was in high heels. I'm not wearing high heels. So maybe I still got some growing to do, but I'm not wearing no high heels. I'm not wearing no tight purple pants. But Prince still got all the beautiful women. Had makeup on, had lipstick on. Thomas says flex Henderson or Eric Wilson if Jacob is out. I'm flexing Henderson all day over Wilson. First game with potentially Stevenson back. I get that. It still doesn't matter. I gotta play Travion. I can't not play Travion and then he boom and we sitting around waiting on that. I'm not gonna get so cute where, sit Travion because he's not gonna get the goal line on the third drive of the game. No, we playing Travion. And then we see the Ramondre get 2 or 3 goal line and Travion get 6 points. And then we have to go back and say, you know what? No more playing Travion while Ramondre is healthy. Vibe says got Rico and AJ Brown, but are you starting J-Mo or Dunze Alec over any? No, I can't start. Yes, so you got Rico and AJ Brown. Can we put any of those guys over them? I would put J-Mo over AJ Brown, and I would play Rico. So J-Mo over AJ Brown, but that's a vacuum talk. AJ Brown is a start, but we just trying to get to the highest ranked guy that you have on your team. And I believe, even though J-Mo doesn't have the draft capital from the beginning of the year that AJ Brown has, I think at this point in time in this quadrant, he is a better wide receiver for fantasy football purposes. So I would play J-Mo and then Alec and then Odunze. That's how I would rank the guys. J-Mo, Alec, Odunze. Croy says start Golf or Jordan Love. We're going with Golf. Thomas says who you like better rest of the season, Rico or Hendy? I'm going with Hendy. Don Parsons said, TD, F the haters, you are great at this. Thank you, bro. Thank you. And the main reason why I was talking about it, man, they do take the shots at my section. They see the hair, whatever. I don't know. I might have some other things that they might see, indicators. I don't care. But that's what we explain. But you're right, bro. And I done got better at that. I don't dress them. I do a little bit for content. Appreciate you, Don, man. You my homie, bro. You my homie. Tron says Eagles defense have the Cowboys, the Bears. Okay, the Cowboys is not the good one, but let's say the Bears, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Commanders, the Raiders and the Commanders, the Bills. I don't know, man. He said, should I pick them up and drop the Rams and Packers? I'm going to say no. Man, because I know it's another situation that the reason why you wanted to do it. I'm going to say no, man. I think you want to keep all three. I don't know if the Eagles are going to lock the Cowboys down. Is that going to lock the Bears down enough where Caleb Williams don't throw for a couple touchdowns? I can see that. The Chargers, they could be way up there or they can be way down. The Raiders is a great matchup. So I see two good matchups with the Bears and Raiders. The Cowboys and Chargers are iffy. You're going to have to make that decision, bruh. Because right now, that's just my point. I told you how I feel about the remaining schedule. You might not feel the same way. And that's unfair for me to say, no, don't do it. Because it could work. Because the Eagles defense is good. Don't get it twisted. But one touchdown can make your defense go from good that week to an average defense. So if you want space on your bench and that's the number one thing, that's your number one agenda on your totem pole, then yes, go drop the rest of those defenses like Rams and Packers and go get the Eagles and stream them for the rest of the season if you need space. But if you're not really worried about that, your team is good, you're just trying to make a move, I will hold on to all three. Excuse me. Ed Tay says, yes. So, guys, help him out. Guys in the chat, help Tron out. What should he do? Should he drop? And I'm going to start doing that because I want y'all to help the people out because I want everybody to give their knowledge. So, guys, right now in the chat, do y'all think he should drop the Rams and the Packers and pick up the Eagles defense for the rest of the season? Let them know right now. Tron says Cardinals versus the Jags this week. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't necessarily go to Michael Wilson over another player. Even though he's a good matchup this week, the Jags defense has been playing. They are top 5 defense. Mike says, G, you like Cleveland's tight end or Tennessee's tight end? I like Cleveland's tight end. I like Fanning this week. Please believe says, don't think Cleveland is tight end would be better than Tennessee's tight end since Shador might be strong quarterback, right? Don't you think Cleveland is tight end would be better? Yes, I think Cleveland's tight end would be better than Tennessee's tight end with Shador playing all day. Matt says, thanks again. Appreciate it. Anytime, Matt. Voltron says, if you call that guy sassy to his face, that's a knockout where I'm from. You know it. But I let him talk. Bro. That's why guys, I play big time football. I went against big time players that was way bigger than me. Well, I was nice size at that point, pause. But I know these guys that's why they on YouTube following. And I'm not saying that's bad, but anybody that gets on YouTube to try to take a shot at somebody is not a man. That's why everybody don't procreate. Some women don't want to procreate with certain men because they're not strong men. I will never get on no YouTube and I will talk to you face to face. I will go to you. I'm not going to call you sassy or no. But it's okay, man. It's all for money. It's all for fun and games. Yes, sir, Voltron. Rome says Alec or Michael Wilson PPR. I'm going with Alec Pierce over Michael Wilson because of the Jags. That's the common denominator. I love Alec Pierce. I think he's a top 5 wide receiver, but Michael Wilson match up with no Marvin Harrison makes him elite, makes him top 5. But the difference, and we talking about a projected top 5, not a he's going to be top 5, projected top 5. But to me, I like Alec Pierce over Michael Wilson because the Jags probably going to double team him to take him away after what he did last week. Charlene says drop Vidal and pick up Godwin. No, let's hold off. Let's hold off. Now, if Godwin, if you think he's going to play this week or something, then maybe. But I will hold off. But if you do drop him, I don't think it's crazy. But I wouldn't do it, Charlene. I want to see what's going to happen with Omari and Hampton, how that's going to play out. I don't want to ruin me having a starting running back by himself just to get to a guy that might not be healthy. What's up, Big Will? Tiger says, don't drop, in my opinion, right. Yo, there's T81. Big Will says, I have Burrow, Caleb, and Purdy on my squad. I'm probably going to drop Caleb, but when's a good time to do it? During the playoffs, because you don't make sure that nobody's going to pick them up. So if you know all the 6 teams or whatever teams get ready to play against you, they got a top quarterback, and you know they're not going to play Caleb over him, then you can drop him. But you don't want him to drop. You don't want to drop him, and then they use him against you, and he beat you, because that's going to make you feel terrible. If losing is losing, you can lose. It's okay, but you don't want to lose off no stupid stuff. And I'm not saying you stupid because you're not stupid, but what I'm saying is you don't want to drop Caleb and then somebody pick him up, and then they streaming him. You like, damn, man, he balling. So I will hold off to like the playoffs where I can pinpoint everybody that might need a quarterback or don't need a quarterback. That's a cutting edge type question. It's very intricate. I understand it. Wave Runner says, my running backs are Gibbs, Bucky, and a newly acquired Amari Hampton for Brees. I also traded Woody away for Marr, but that trade won't process until after the Thursday night game. Okay. So you traded Woody away for Marvin. I like that. You gave somebody something to get something consistent, because when Marvin Harrison comes back, we know he's going to get 10 targets from Jacoby Brissett. So I like that move. Sal says, what up, bruh? Purdy or Daniel Jones? Guys, who are the Colts playing? Put it in the comment section real quick. Who are the Colts playing? Joe Burrow listed as a full participant in practice today. Damn! Thank you, Thomas. Cutting edge content right there. KC. Okay. So we're going to go with Purdy over Daniel Jones. Also, one flex, Emmanuel Wilson, Purcell, or Brian Thomas Jr. Okay, so it's going to be between Emmanuel Wilson and Brian Thomas Jr. Let's go with Emmanuel Wilson. We don't need to see it. We know that Josh Jacobs is out. We know that Jordan Love can make this offense move. They only missing Tucker Kraft and Josh Jacobs. So he has other weapons to move down the field. We want a short yardage touchdown from Emmanuel Wilson. That's our goal. We don't want him to break out or do nothing crazy. We just want him to get a couple touchdowns or a touchdown to give him a nice floor. Brian Thomas Jr. to me is usually the guy that I would tell you to play, but he hasn't showed enough. He's probably rusty. He's been out. Let's see that. That's what we need to see. Emmanuel Wilson, I feel better. I feel more at ease playing Emmanuel Wilson, knowing there's no Josh Jacobs, knowing that this offense can move between the 20s and he can score from the goal line over Brian Thomas Jr. Pearsall, he's been hurt for a while. Let's let him have a good game before we start playing him. So Emmanuel Wilson is what I would play, bro. That's a good question too. Matt says, stick with Packers or Rams DST. I don't know, man. I haven't looked at their schedules. Guys, put it in the comment section. What should Matt do? Should he stick with the Packers and Rams DST? instead of the Eagles? I think that's the guy that was asking. I think that's what you were saying. To me, man, I haven't looked at. I'm not gonna sit there and tell you one defense, because the Rams defense to me, it sounds, oh, the Rams, but I haven't looked at their schedule like that. The only teams that I've looked at their schedule like that was Baltimore, because these are the defenses that's in my league. Like, to look at all the rest of the schedules to say who's gonna be better. I looked at Baltimore. I looked at Cleveland. And a few more. I can't think of it right now. But I looked at a few defenses, but I haven't looked at the Packers and the Rams. So hopefully everybody can help you out in the chat, bro. Ronaldo says Fannin, Barner, Mason Taylor, or Otten. We're going with Fannin with Shadir Sanders. So let me rank them. Fannin, Mason Taylor, Barner, Otten. Tech, he says, want to trade Puka, Henderson, and Aaron Jones for Saquon and Taylor. No. Keep Puka and Henderson. I also have Sean Tucker, Brian Thomas Jr., Troy Franklin. What should I do? We keeping Puka. We keeping Henderson. We're not going to talk about Aaron Jones. And yes, you would get Jonathan Taylor. But I'm trying to say, is Saquon, like Puka and Jonathan Taylor, to me, I will give Jonathan Taylor a slight edge. That's a slight edge. But Saquon and Henderson, I might want Henderson over Saquon. New England looks like a really good team, and we haven't seen Henderson with Ramondre there, but I just believe that Henderson still is going to be special. I don't think Henderson is going to go back to what we saw earlier when Ramondre was playing. I think they know they want to move on from that. I could be wrong. So I would say hold off on that trade. Let's wait one more week before you do it. If you can, if you can't, I wouldn't do it. But if you do it, I don't think it's going to kill you. But you better hope that Saquon gets going and Taylor stays what he's doing. To me, you got more room for error with Puka and Henderson and Aaron Jones, and you're going to keep working the waiver wire. I would rather have Puka and Henderson. It's probably because I feel good about Henderson a little bit better than you do. But if you don't and you want to make the trade, that's fine. I don't think it's a terrible trade to make on either side. I just rather have Puka and Henderson myself. But if you want to make it, I think it's okay. You just need Taylor to ball out, to stay balling, and Saquon to get going. Joseph says, what about all this unprofessional spitting going on in the sports lately? So I talked about this the other day, Joseph. This is what I said, Joseph. So it's like the Manchurian Candidate. Y'all ever watched that? You ever heard about that? You ever heard of, I can't think of it, but guys, commercials, that's how they make money, is through showing you stuff, flashing images in front of your head. In front of your face. So your gates, your mouth, my lips are getting chapped. So your gates, when people tell you stuff, that's why people's like, I don't want to hear that. You see weird shit, you don't want to see that. You don't want to eat weird shit. That shit, once it gets into your body, you consume it. So when we consume meat and these animals are going through trauma, that's why we have trauma dreams. Like everything is like it's a ecosystem. So whatever you digesting and whatever you eating, it's going to be in you. That's just how the world, like the rain, it rains, then it gets evaporated, goes back up. It's the same water, but it's a cycle. So when they seeing people spit, all of a sudden you get mad. Before you know it, it's in your subconscious. You spit. Jamar Chase didn't spit because he was like, well, I'm going to spit on this guy in 5 minutes. No, it was like he got in the heat of the moment and he spit. Why? Because he been hearing about Jalen Carter spitting. That's how it happens. How you ever said some weird shit, but like, why did I say that? Because you've been hearing that shit. So that's what's going on. That's why they got to put a stop to it. And they should not suspend Jamar Chase for 2 games. He should get suspended for 1 game. And then they should come out and say, listen, if we see another person spit in a direction of another person, you automatically getting 2 or 3 games. And that's when it would stop. They need to put that in your gate. That's why discipline. That's why you see a lot of countries like Russia. They would tell you, if you do this, we'll put you in jail for the rest of your life. We'll give you the electric chair. People think about that shit and they don't do it. Countries know how to control their people by putting stuff in front of their image, like in front of them, by their gates, their mouth, eyes, or whatever. So that's why these guys are spitting on people. They need to stop that shit now. They're gonna have to show somebody getting suspended for 2 or 3 games, or they're gonna have to make an announcement. Shaq says Caleb will love the rest of the season. I'm going with Love. I think this team is going to be passing more. Christian Watts is getting going. It's time for Jordan Love. He's going to have to push the ball downfield a little bit. But I think you can't go wrong with either one. But Love, just because I like the way he looked in the second half of that game, coming back from an injury. I trust him a little bit more than Caleb. Caleb is still learning. He's still in the lab. So I'll go with Love. But if you want to go with Caleb, there's nothing wrong with that. Renato says, is it crazy to start Jacoby over Lamar? He didn't practice today. Yes, it is, but I'm not going to sit there and tell you you can't do it. I don't play fantasy that way, but there's a lot of people that do, man, and they make the decisions. They're like, Lamar is struggling. He this, and this. I'm going to play this guy, and it works. Me, I'm that guy that's going to play Lamar. TD, he ain't had 0 points. Lamar. TD, he got a broke leg. Lamar. That's just me because that's how my starts and sits strategy is deployed for me. I like to play my guys that I believe in and keep playing them. Eventually, I think things change. It's not doing the same thing over and over. It's almost like a bingo card. If I keep playing the same numbers, eventually they will come out. If they're not coming out already. So I would say no, but if you want to do it, that's on you. Thomas says Joe Burrow listed as a full participant in practice today. That's crazy. That's crazy. Renato says Breach or Emmanuel Wilson. I'm going with Emmanuel Wilson. Renato says Packers 100. MVM says Michael Wilson or Tez. Purcell, please pick one. I'm going with Michael Wilson over Tez. Tech says, all right, thank you, bro. Anytime. Shaq says start Judy or Fanning. I'm starting Judy over Fanning. Charlene says, is Bashal, Tootin, and Ollie Gordon and Keith Mitchell stashes? Of course they are, especially Bashal, Tootin. Would you stash any of these guys? Yes, I would stash Bashal, Tootin, and I would stash Ollie if I had room. Keaton, I don't know, because if something goes down, I don't know if Keaton gonna get the full workload. It's gonna be Justice Hill and Keaton. Shaq says Judy or Sean Tucker or Charbonnet for the flex. So Sean Tucker if Bucky is out. But if Bucky plays, then I will go with Judy over Sean Tucker and Charbonnet. Tron said, that's deep, man, about why Jamar spit. You're a thinker like I am. Yes, I am. I'm a philosopher, and I'm a metaphor guy. Listen, guys, when I took the SAT in high school, and they had that section where flower is to womb and womb is to birth, I'm good at that shit because I see life like this. This is how I keep myself accountable. If this dude ain't my friend and he over here acting crazy, I just want to spit on him and talk shit about him. But what if somebody did that to my friend? See, I always try to put myself in other people's shoes and put a metaphor in. Bro, it could be you. Just because that quarterback, he sucked. Well, your quarterback struggled when he was a rookie, but you didn't say he sucked. Well, that's different because he didn't have a coach. So you know the details of your situation, but the other person's situation, it don't matter. Get out of here. You have to self-reflect. So just like the Bible speaks of, first, you can move mountains. Like you have to put life in a metaphor way in order to keep yourself humble, because you would think your situation is always special and everybody else's situation is shit. Oh, you think because you believe they told you that God was this and you believe your country told you the right thing and everybody else is going to hell. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Let's see here. Kurt Wood says Tez Johnson or Tyler Warren in the flex. Tez Johnson or Tyler Warren in the flex. I'm going with Tyler Warren in the flex, even against the Kansas City Chiefs. Michael says Trey Henderson, Genty, Emmanuel Wilson, Judkins. Pick 3 to start. 4 people. I love your channel, TD. Don't ever stop. You know it, bro. I'm going with Judkins. Let's stay with Trey Henderson, and let's go with Genty. Now, if you want to substitute Emmanuel Wilson in because you think Henderson is gonna get sniped by Ramondre, that's fine. But I'm going with your guys that you came to the party with, and let's switch it up because I don't like saying that. Pause. But you dance with the girls that you came to the party with. Genty is a starter. Travion Henderson been the top running back the last 2 weeks. And Judkins has a great matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders when they have Shadur, who they're going to establish Judkins to help Shadur get warmed up. So that's why I'm going with those guys. But any guy that can make me sit my studs, that's how I looked at it. I capitalized my 3 studs that I always do. I'm looking at the studs. And then I'm saying, well, what guy has showed me that I can sit my stud and play him? And Emmanuel Wilson, because of his situation with no Josh Jacobs, has said that, yeah, I could start him. But you pick. You pick who you're going to take out. I'm not, you could take out Travion Henderson. You could take out Judkins. You could take out Genty. To me, I'm not going to be able to get to Wilson. I'm going to dance with the girls that I came to the party with. Jeff Waters says Emmanuel Wilson or Gainwell. Right now, my answers could change because I don't know about Jalen Warren, but I'm going to go with Emmanuel Wilson. Charlene says, thanks so much, TD. Have a good night. Yes, you too. Renato says, would you drop Tez for Juwan Jennings or to pick Judy? Or to pick Judy. Yes, I would play Judy over Tez and over Juwan Jennings. I would play Judy. Juwan Jennings and Judy is very, very close. If you want to play Jennings, nothing wrong with that. But I like Judy because I think the matchup is great, and I think Shadur is going to be hyper-target him. And I don't think a lot of people are going to be high on Judy. Even though a lot of people like Shadur, they don't think Judy ain't did shit all year. So you can he's a sleeper. And he's a really high-end sleeper this week. Tez, that's a Baker touchdown. I don't want to wait for no Baker touchdown. I hate waiting on touchdowns. That's why I don't even like betting on anytime touchdowns, because you can have a great game and not get a touchdown. But Juwan Jennings and Judy is close, but I'll go with Judy. Chris Walker says, what up, bro? Thanks for the advice on Bryce over Dak this week. Okay. Did I say Bryce over Dak? No, I didn't say Bryce over Dak. Okay, you going with Bryce. Okay, I didn't say that, bro. I'm sorry if I said that by mistake. But Dak is the guy. I would go with Dak. Bryce got a good matchup, but I still like Dak over Bryce. King Silver says, I'm rolling Lamar out every single week. I'm confident that multiple times he's going to have a big game. I agree. Jeff says, Browns defense or Packers defense? I'm going with the Browns defense. Ed Tay says, if you have faith like a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Yes, you can move mountains. If you faith like a mustard seed, you can move mountains. Big facts. And guys, I'm going to tell you something. I've been moving mountains ever since I've been a little boy, ever since I can remember. For the first memory that I have, I always remember like, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. As soon as I saw my cousins play sports, and then they started walking around with these beautiful girls, I'm like, oh my God, how he get her? It's because he's a baller. Everybody's sitting around. They love my cousins, man. When I would go to see them at the game, everybody coming up giving them love. I'm like, damn, how can I get loved like that? How can I get respect? And I said, well, I'm gonna go play that. I'm gonna go play football, and I'm gonna be great at it. It happened. Like whatever I have asked God, it's been on His time, and I'm saying this for a testimony. I want people to know this. Just because I like to motivate. I want people to be motivated. I like seeing people win. I like positive energy. Whatever I have ever asked the Father for, the creator of all creators, you can call him God, you can call him whatever you want to call him. He's always blessed me. That's why I'm spoiled. That's why I act ignorant sometimes, because I'm spoiled rotten. That's why I come on YouTube and get in front of a phone and talk about fantasy football, because I know my channel going to blow up. That's why I passed a lot of people channels that thought they were smarter than me, because they don't have the passion, they don't have the faith that I got. That's why you see my eyes, I don't even blink, because I got faith. I don't feel it blinking, right? And people tell me that, man, you won't even blink, because that's my energy. I believe in myself. He says, we screwed with London We screwed with London rest of the season. Yeah, London, I don't think he's going to be the same with that knee. I agree. Ed Tay says, I feel you, TD. Love your channel. Thank you. Michael White says, Jacob Hurt got Bam Knight. Charbonnet, who you start? Charbonnet. Renato says, I'm going to the dance with Lamar. Come on now. Big facts. And last comment of the day says, Jeff says, any word on Trey Benson yet? No, I haven't seen anything, but I will let y'all know. I'm going to try to do more news, more recent news stuff. Intelligente says, top fantasy quarterbacks through week 11. 1, Josh Allen. 2, Drake May. 3, Pat Mahomes. 4, Justin Herbert. You don't need to take an elite quarterback in the first round. That's a little, I'm trying to find out the right way. Because what you said, bro, you giving us the facts, so I'm not going to know what you're saying. That's disingenuous, bro. The season, we in week 12, bro. And you going to read and say you don't need them? You acting like we ain't about to go in the 4th quadrant. If Drake May right now, bro, play bad, he won't the top 3 guy if he play bad for the rest of the season. So I think that's a little bit disingenuous. I've seen plenty of quarterbacks. I saw Josh Allen last year struggle. Lamar was going to win the MVP. The last 5 games, Josh was like outside the top 5. He went off, and he was a top quarterback. So, bro, why would you say that you don't need it and we in the middle of the season now, right? Like, people are still being sided. Jonathan Taylor right now looks like he's going to be the #1 RB, but you don't know what can happen. Somebody could go for 40 points back to back, and then Jonathan Taylor, something could happen. So let's just wait it out. And you don't, bro. Listen, there's 9 ways to skin a cat. It's 9 ways. I just give my way. That's why I always tell y'all, listen, guys, there's 9 ways to skin a cat. You can do it your way. But my way, I'm going to tell y'all my way. That's the only way I know how to portray it most of the time. I try to put myself in y'all's shoes, but y'all need direct answers sometimes. And so I just believe that you need a top quarterback. I feel good about my teams when I have top quarterbacks. So I want to tell that to y'all. But you can win with Kirk Cousins, getting him as a sleeper. You can win with Drake May, getting him in the 6th, 7th round. Of course you can. Bro, you can do 0 RB. You can do robust RB. You can do tight end in the 1st round. It's 9 ways to win a championship. Mahomes been struggling. Mahomes has been struggling. Mahomes had 2 bad games, bro. For his standards. But I get it. Like I said, I'm never going to sit there and say my way is the best way. I would never be that disingenuous. But I'm just going to portray, tell y'all that way y'all can sharpen y'all iron and make assessments accordingly. You might not be an early quarterback guy. There's a lot of guys in here that don't believe in all the players that I talk about, but they understand my formula and they rock with me through the formula, not through the player per player per player. But I get what you're saying, but bro, I respect what you're saying. You use stats. I love that. Cutting edge content, bro. Ed Tay says, John 14:13 says, if you ask in his name, Yeshua, say it is done. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I don't say I don't say Jesus, and that's for a whole different video. Maybe you can get that on the Circle podcast. Kurt Wood says, when Hampton come back, should I put him in with A-Chain? No, depending on who you have. If you don't have a better running back, then yeah. But if you got better guys that's been playing and they healthy, I would play them and wait to see what Hampton gonna do. Drake May is him, according to Thomas. Yes, sir. Shadur, he says, Cole Grumpy says Shadur sucks. That's your opinion, bro, and we gonna see. He could. I don't think so. My opinion, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks I've seen come out of college. Cole Grumpy says he's trash. Michael says, who would you pick to start, Judkins or Rome Odunze? I would start Judkins over Rome Odunze. I'm indecisive. Odunze has been feeling like a roller coaster lately. Yes, I'm going with Judkins, knowing that they're going to establish that run and they need to. I like Judkins against the Las Vegas Raiders. Intelligente said, I don't think Mahomes would struggle, and I get that. I think he's been struggling according to his standards, though. Cole Grumpy says, Odunze over Judkins this week? Yes. No. I'm going with Judkins over Odunze. That's me. Michael says, do stop. Start Hurts, play Brissett. Start Hurts, play Brissett rest of the season. Brissett throwing a lot in every matchup since he started. Right. Don't stop. Start. I don't know what that means, but Michael, I think you just got mixed up a little bit in the beginning. Yeah, I'm starting my stud. I'm playing Hurts over Brissett. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna stream nobody over a guy like Hurts if I drafted him. Ninja, what's up? He said, "What up, TD?" Kurt says, "I got Harvey and Wilson." Okay. Intelligente says, I took Lamar second round. I'm just rethinking my strategy for next year." Okay, I get it. But bruh, you know, and just as we just gonna check and balance each other, right? If Lamar has some 17-point games going forward, I'm gonna come in and I'll say, "Listen, bro, I see what you're saying. But bro, if he start booming and you winning, you gotta come in here, man, and give him some respect, man. You know? Because I believe that he's about to go crazy and you're gonna be, well, I mean, I didn't want to take him early, but damn, yeah, let's go, Lamar." I believe that's what's gonna happen. I hear guys talk shit about women, and then when shit get needy and greedy, you always are all up in her face and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how it happens. That's a woman, man. They got that power over. And when you talking about a top quarterback, you say you don't want to do it, and then they start balling. You be like, damn, why I ain't take him? Michael says Charbonnet or Marks has tough matchup Thursday with Buffalo. Buffalo been giving up the run. So I like Marks over Charbonnet. Charlene says Brissett. All right, can you hear me? Charlene says love dark. All right, guys, well, I'm going to get ready to get out of here. Y'all be safe. See y'all later. Peace.